Good morning, team. I hope you guys are having a great day. SB, I'll cover your square in a bit. What's up, Carson? And so, guys, a few things I'm gonna cover. A few names which I'm gonna cover: Pfizer, DKNG, CGC, Piton, ABNB, Uber, and Square. And KULR for Nils. I have no idea what that company is, but we'll look at the technicals for it. Anyways, Spy, absolute rip on the jobs, I believe. Right, I actually have to get to go through the job numbers yet because I was going through all these companies. But I think the market is reacting positively to it on SPY, like LB mentioned. 470, if we take out and hold above, oh man, I don't even know what to say. Very strong market, very strong. Then just play the trend, make the money that you want, because these type of markets come once in a while. But again, manage risk, manage size is one thing that we will always tell you, right? No matter, I'm gonna type this out for you guys. No matter how excited you are or the gains you made, managing is must, or else the market will slap you in the face, even if you're up 1,000% on the month. I'm telling you guys this from experience, right? We've seen experience all the ups and downs possible in the market, and I know some of you guys are extremely excited with the gains you made, and I'm more than happy for you guys. The only thing that I think was sometimes, are you guys going to manage them in the coming months or coming weeks, right? If you think in the market you're going to double, triple your account every week or every 2 weeks, you have a casino or gambler's mindset, right? Sometimes life gives you lemons, you got to squeeze and keep them. I mean, it's not going to keep on coming, is the reality, right? There's no leading on here. But all the gains that you guys are making, and some of you guys have absolutely murdered October, November, even September, protect your gains, withdraw some, maybe just manage. That's all I'll say, right? Until you can prove yourself that, okay, this is the pace that you can keep up for the next 6 months, that's fine then. But manage. So far, market in a rip mode. SPY is in a very strong uptrend. It's just pushing, and let's see how far we go. Maybe November to May is supposed to be very strong. Well, so for the last 20 or 20 times since 1950, when the market's been like this, we absolutely flew. Does the same thing happen this time, right? So let's see. Q is also absolute rip mode, right? 280, 250 above hold. We're way above it. We're 20 points above it, so this level is going to change a bit now. So I'll look at it now. For now, I think 390. So I'll just make a little edit to this now that technicals have changed. 390 is must hold, right? 390 we must hold, and 380 250 has become a very important hold now, a very important hold if we have any dips in the coming days. All right, so tech absolutely ripping. Tech is absolutely ripping, and then obviously we made a lot of money on Amazon, and chips are absolutely in place. Chips are very strong right now. I do want to go through chips, but I want to go through some of these companies. So SMH, Vanex sector, except for semiconductors, absolute rip, right? Broke out of the higher highs, higher lows. See, when the channels makes these things, something for you guys to learn technicals. And I'm just going to show you guys right here. When you guys have these this type of move, right? A nice little higher highs, higher lows, and then higher highs is trying to break out of the high. That's just basically showing strength in the market, right? And for all these months, we had this chip shortage news, some unexpected uncertainties, and whatever it was. And now, I think that problem seems to be solved. I still have to read more into it, but then that's the rip that came, and this is super strong. So chips are in play. How high does it go? Let's see. But obviously, don't chase all the way up here and pay expensive premium. Be very strategic when you're playing these type of names, right? Be very strategic, right? Because premiums will be rocketed on these. This is a word, but will be very high. So you want to make sure if you're buying chips or anything, premiums will be very high. Just don't get caught on the top. All right, expect downside. Understand how the premiums are moving if you're going to play them. All right, if they continue going up, you'll make a lot of money. But on any sideways or a dip, you will lose a lot of money. All right. But when things rip, sometimes they just go on an absolute rip mode like this. And if you catch the wave and you know when to buy, where to get in, you make a lot of money. All right. For example, this big candle yesterday, we can have a move like this then for the next few days, right? We can easily go like this. It doesn't mean it's bad, but just options will get killed, right? They consolidate, then they rip again. So you want to understand how you're going to play these names, right? Spreads I would recommend here, obviously, but I'll leave it up to you guys. And if you guys have any questions, ask in the group, I'll answer. Now, Pfizer, number one. Pfizer, we've been playing Pfizer for the last, ever since we had the rip here back in June, July, right on the news, right? We rode this wave up, we took our profits, and then I held some, I bought back in Pfizer, I think around these levels, long, thinking that from here we reverse. Well, I bought time, right? So did LB, right? And we bought time, Adams bought time on this. And the reason I stayed patient through this entire downtrend, I was not worried. Because I've seen my options go from $10 to 10 cents to back to 20 bucks. I've seen it many times. That's how options work, all right? So this, we have time till Jan. And here, I was simply looking at the month chart. I was simply looking at the monthly chart, right? That, you know what, maybe it's just a monthly long retest of these levels, a breakout, which is fine, and then it's probably just gonna take another month just to come right back up. And this month, we're probably gonna, if we stay above 48, we're probably gonna close at like near all-time highs on Pfizer on the monthly chart. All right, the monthly is in play. This was given to you guys in pre-market, I think a few days ago, even yesterday we covered it. So Pfizer today, we have the COVID pill news with one of their HIV drugs is 90% reduction in hospitalization and death, and that's huge, that's big. And we all know what Merck did when the pill news came out. So if Pfizer takes out August highs, which are simple, is a very simple technical. If Pfizer takes out high of 51.86, I'll just say 52 here. If Pfizer takes out 52 anytime, this thing is probably going to go to 55, 60 so fast. All right. And Moderna on the other side, just negative news, and Pfizer continues upside news. All right. And we know that they don't really move together because when Moderna was ripping, Pfizer didn't do much. So is it time for Pfizer to rip, right? Levels 47 was must for Pfizer for me. We're way above it. We're near 49. So right now, if we can just close this week or today above 48 plus, that will be nice. And maybe Pfizer gives us a little dip and it rips past 50 today. 50 will even be great, all right? But the monthly is in play. And this monthly, the January calls that I personally have for the 50s, I think I can probably get $3-4 on them if we get the move. Today they will be up high, really nice because of the increased IV on a big move up. So I'll be green again, but I'm probably gonna hold based on the monthly. DKNG, DraftKings, so their earnings, they reported a loss, their revenues fell short, but one comment which I really like about DKNG, they expect a strong 2022. So DKNG, do I buy in now or do I wait? Personally, I'm gonna wait. I like the company, I like what they do, right? A lot of people are addicted to sports betting and whatnot. For me, if I can get DKNG around these levels in the coming month or two, around 39.40, right, that would be perfect. I wanted DKNG here of last month because it was looking good, but I didn't get in because it failed to hold. But I do see $40 on DKNG. I may be wrong, maybe it never gets to 40, then I'll simply miss that trade, I'll let it set up here, then maybe I'll catch something above $50, I don't know, right? But I'm not gonna get stuck in, this is just my opinion, many other technical traders may have different views on it, right? But personally, I will not buy DKNG until this level right here. See, look, so I already have this, how we just drew. So this strong support level right here. And even here, you wanna see how DKNG is gonna hold 40 here. Before I jump in, I will see how DKNG holds. And if you want to buy this, then I would probably buy time at least 8 to 10 months out, near the money, $42, $44 calls, because if it dips to the next support level, which is all the way in this zone right here, which is right here, 29, 28, and it's possible, anything is possible. We've seen stocks go from $5 to $80 and back to $10 this year. We've witnessed it all right? Anything is possible. And then we might even see $30, and then at $30 I want to average down with the leaps I bought. So you want to scale in very small, right? A word that I'm using, I'll write it again here. You want to be very strategic with entries, right? You want to have some downside plans. If the stock goes downside expected, you will manage your positions better. That way you can, manage better, right? It's all about learning. I'm getting better myself every day as my experience is building up with leaps and all that, because leaps take a long time to play, right? Sometimes 1 year, 2 years, and I'm getting better and better myself, and then I can teach you guys the same thing or share my opinions at least, all right? So $40, my first scale in, and then under 40, 29, keeping that downside minus level as well, right? And then maybe a nice little reversal, okay? And if we bounce from this level, from 48, then all this goes to garbage, then we look at DKNG above 50. Right? Then we start buying it here with that when it shows strength. All right, but I'm not gonna get caught right here. It's very dangerous. CGC, Canopy Growth, 3 cents per share loss. Their revenues fell a little short. Now they made one comment which I was not happy about: slower revenue growth for second half of 2022. Like, how do you already know that next year after July your revenues are gonna slow down? Like, maybe they have some numbers, maybe who knows? So that didn't make sense to me. But for me, I think Canopy or anything to do with Weed, I think he can share his opinions on voice chat today. He knows a lot about this inside out. He follows it very closely, but I think I will just play levels on this name, right? I'll simply just play levels on this name, and if we can get above 1450 or 15 on CGC, I may look to add some leaps, right? Because we do have some news that are supposed to come next year, early Jan, Feb, March, as we do get some legalization news all the time, right? So let's see. This goes for Tilray as well now. We need on technical basis. I am long in Tilray. We need a 12 through $14, and if we can get through 14, we can probably see 20, right? So, but Tilray is building a very strong base here. It's trying to cut down this downtrend. So far, we're trying to hold this base, right? So if we can continue holding in this for even the next 1 week or 2 week or maybe even a month, if we can just continue holding in this base, I think that will eventually. What's going to happen here is all the people that are short, they're going to start looking at Tilray, man, this thing is not going lower, so there's demand. Then eventually a short covering is going to happen, it's going to take us some levels, it's going to cause FOMO, and that's when the squeeze is going to happen. So if if it happens, obviously, right? I mean, if it keeps going lower, then there's no reason for them to buy it back. But so we need Tilray to make a strong base here so the shorts can cover a bit and give us that little squeeze out of FOMO, something like this, so we nail those profits. This is why you buy time on stocks like this, all right? Piton, what an ugly company. They slashed. They had a quarterly loss. Revenues were shit. I'm not even gonna go through them, but they made one comment which is very bearish. When companies say that we raise our outlook, we're raising our guidance, right? Now they're giving us expectations. Like let's say 6 months I told you I'm gonna do 5 billion in sales, and I tell you in the last quarter, hey, you know what? I might actually end up doing 5.5 or 6 billion. That makes you even more happy that you know this is more than what we expected, so the company goes higher. But Peloton, they made comments sometime early in the year, and now in this earnings, they cut down their outlook. Me telling you in the start that I'm going to make 5 billion, now I tell you, oh, I can't make 5 billion, I'm going to make 4 billion. Why are you going to invest in me? Why are you going to be in my business? That just shows a lot of slower growth and just a shitty expectations. So Piton for now, absolute garbage, is down a lot pre-market, right? I never played this stock. I don't think I ever did. I never will. It's just not my type of company. Until further proven, is down huge. And now if it does not hold these levels, we're probably going to see all the way right here towards this 38, 30 level. If they rip it back up here, build support, then they might just consolidate here for a while. But Piton for me is not a play. I would not, even though Piton is trading at a discount, I probably wouldn't buy it because this thing can go sideways here for a long, long time. I will only look at Piton if it can get above 90 or 100. This is where I will look at Piton. Right? That's when I know, okay, no, they're with something, market believes in them, they're taking it back up. This is where I want to look at Piton above 100. And here in between, it can go anywhere. It's nothing but gambling. You will have to go through their statements and everything and make sure that they have some certain type of growth if you're going to invest in a company like this. You better dig into it a lot, all right? Technically, you can try playing with small, but based on their comment that they're going to cut down their forecast, that there's nothing more negative than that in my opinion. Airbnb, absolutely stellar earnings. They killed their earnings, right? Very nice up pre-market, and I do like Airbnb. I haven't looked at their financial statements, but why do I like Airbnb? Because the area I live in, where I travel, there's a lot of Airbnb products that people are involved in, and that just showed me, wow. I mean, this company has a lot of demand and supply, like both ways, right? And Airbnb, their travel demand is strong. Their sales are at record high. And they made an opposite comment of Piton. They said they expect a very strong holiday season. All right, so they're expecting a very strong holiday season, and which is good. I mean, there's nothing more bullish than that. And as we get the COVID vaccines, things are getting back to more normal. People are going to travel more, obviously, and Airbnb obviously more demand, right? As people travel. So Airbnb, I do love it. But technically, obviously, we have a lot of choppiness here. I'll play on Airbnb today because of their earnings and based on their comments. I'm going to give you guys a play on Airbnb. If it works, it could be a great Lotto Friday. Okay. So Airbnb right now, I believe is trading at 186 if trading view is not wrong. Or let me check the live price of Airbnb right now. Just give me 1 second so I can give you guys a nice play on it. Airbnb 187. Great. So Airbnb is trading at 187. So guys, write this down. So we did have these levels, 154 takeout, 160, which worked out. And now let me give you guys something. So pay attention. Airbnb comes if retests near 182, 184ish, between that $1-2 zone. All right. and takes out 186.50 or high of day, we likely see 190 plus to close. All right. We likely see, we likely see 190 plus to close. Now I give these scenarios with certain takers, but to give these scenarios, you gotta go through earnings. You gotta understand why this might happen with this stock. All right. Some stocks don't give a dip. Like Qcom yesterday, I wanted to play it. We did not get the dip. It just it gave a small dip, but it ran. All right, and it didn't do much after. Okay, but then we just missed that trade. It's simple. So Airbnb, if you get something like this, is something that you can keep an eye on. Right, these are very likely scenarios to work out, and then you manage obviously. If we retest around these levels right here, and then it takes at the high of the day, 190 plus close likely. Okay, so keep an eye on Airbnb, guys. Uber, someone asked us, does Uber help the market? Uber has nothing to do with the market. It's still a great company, it's a big company, obviously. With Uber, what you want to do is you want to look at stocks like Dash or other companies, related stocks, right? Where people are using ride-sharing apps for, or using cars, or I mean something like this, right? You just have to dig into them. Then you want to look at Uber Eats, for example. How does Uber Eats do? And then maybe compare with the other companies, Dash, right? So you have to look through the comments. There's certain parts of their business if you're going to compare them with a certain market companies. Now Uber, it's their first profitable quarter. The first thing that came into my mind with this was when Tesla had its first profitable quarter. Tesla, after a few months, it absolutely ripped. It went beast mode, right? And mainly their loss was due to their stake in Didi. As we know, DIDI took a big hit in the Chinese market, right, in Nasdaq as well. And so that was the reason they had their loss. So I think investors are absorbing that, right? It's forgiven. But they had, I think their earnings were great. They had their first profitable quarter adjusted, so which is a very good comment on its own. And they're expecting good growth. So Uber is a pure technical play for me. Needs to get through 46 and hold 47. We have our spreads with time, and let's see how this works out. And if Uber takes out this zone right here, we do have all the way towards 52 bucks. We do have all the way towards 52. And if Uber fails this 44, 43 level again, then we have a visit in the 40s, and then we see how it holds here. But if it takes a 46, 47, we likely see where? 50. All right, so we bought spreads for a reason, because it was a little in the choppy zone. Squares, someone asked about Square. Now Square also had earnings, and I think just right now in the pre-market, they went up a little bit, I believe. I'll just look at their live price right now. So, yep, they're up 2.5% now, right, early in the morning. I think jobs number may have helped. Their estimates they matched, right? Revenues sort of missed, and they had a 60% increase from 1 year, right? Now sometimes just certain things, so they grew 60% from a year ago. Sometimes now, sometimes they say you don't need to know all the internals, you don't need to look at the numbers. Sometimes common sense just makes common sense. So from the year 21, the Square was trading at 220ish, 228. And now we know that from these prices, whatever they were pricing in here, Square is up 60% in their growth, but we're above only 20 bucks on the stock price in the 1 year, right? So it's nowhere close to 60%. Now that's not how you do the comparison, but it's just sometimes as a normal common man just to make certain senses, all right? But Square on technical basis, I'm gonna go on the monthly, guys, all right? The monthly gives us a very clear view when we play leaps. The monthly looks fine to me. The monthly looks fine to me. If you're gonna play Square leaves, you wanna look at all this. There's a lot of selling pressure above there's 250 bucks. There's a lot of selling pressure above 250 bucks, right? There's a lot of selling pressure above 250. So they're trying to keep this thing near or under 250. What we need on the monthly is a takeout of 270, 280 close. All right, we need a close above basically this candle right here, which is a August candle, where the close here was 268. If we can close anywhere near 270 plus on the monthly, that basically says all this selling, everything else that's been happening has been taken over by the buyers. The buyers are back in control on Square, and they expect more downside. There are not enough people to sell no more. All right, Square confirmation 270 plus. I would play Square to the upside with time. Here, if you're gonna buy in leaps, I would suggest that you buy some late 2023, 2024 leaps, and you gotta have a lot of patience when playing leaps. The Square here for another 1-2 months can easily visit even this part right here, which is 220. It can easily, which it did last month. It can happen again. However, if we continue holding here, I will simply for SOSB, I will scale in very small as my first leap target. If Square goes up If Square goes up, you're already scaled in, so you're already up in profits. You might be not profits in your full position, but you're scaled in, you're up in profits, all right? And maybe when it takes out this number, now what you can do is take these profits or the position and buy out some other further calls with more confirmation, and you can maybe go with a bigger size. In options, listen to this comment very carefully. In options, it's very, it is okay to buy options at a higher price than the stock. Some of you guys need to understand this, all right? It is okay to buy options at a higher price. Here's a perfect example on Square. This month right here, right? I mean, let's say you bought options here on a monthly without, or I mean, this was a good confirmation, but or here, it failed. But if you guys were scaled in here, it presented you more opportunities to buy more, right? But if you waited for the confirmation right here, which took months and months, you could have caught this nice little non-stop, more confirmed trade, all right? So that's what I'm trying to tell you guys here. 270 is more confirmation, but if you want to buy leaps here on Square, expect downside. Expect downside when you buy leaps, guys. Expect downside, all right? That way you can manage your size better, and that way you will only tap the money that you're okay leaving it there for 6 months or 1 year maybe, all right? And KULR nils. I don't know what they do. I have no idea, but just based on technicals, this looks like one of those rip stocks. Just be careful above 340. Just by looking at the chart, you don't want to get stuck in this chart right here. You don't want to get stuck in this pattern. If you know about the company, there is a lot of volume coming in. This was a nice little monthly. I'm looking at the monthly, by the way. Nice little bull flag, which took many months to play out, and a nice little rip. This probably sees much higher if it closes. This I don't think this price action matters, because the volume, the chart basically starts from here, because this is when the volume started coming in. All this is nonsense. But this is a very nice uptrend from here. If it can continue holding about 340, 350, I would say, or the highs of this month, if it can just continue holding here, you can see a big move up, man. That's all I can say on this. But you're going to need a lot of patience with it. I would probably scale it. And with this, you obviously want to look at some fundamentals. If you know the fundamentals, if you know the balance sheet of the company, if you know what they're doing, now that's a different story. Now you have more confidence, you have more information, all right? Technically, we just need to hold near the highs for a move higher. And then you want to play the fundamentals, which I believe you must have done research on. And I don't know if they had earnings or their earnings are coming up. It says earnings this month. So scale and small, but if you know fundamentals, if you know something about the company, then obviously you can manage your size accordingly. With this, I'll see you guys back in the chat. All of you guys, or most of you guys, had a great month. Protect your gains. Not every day is a trading day. And I might have some fun with some lottos today. Let's see. Or maybe I won't. I don't know. It's free premium, so if you have friends, family, anybody that's interested in trading and want to just check it out, anyone can come and join us. God bless. See you guys.